We're going to get started in just a minute. All right, we're getting started a couple minutes early, and this is going to be a short and punchy session for a couple of reasons. Number one, I got to get my girls to school. I got to drive them at 10, around 10. We leave to get them to school. Not normally, but they have a 2-hour delay because it's so cold. Probably a 2-hour delay the rest of the week because it is just frigid here. So that's reason number one. Number two, I am going to do more of a work session during our typical Wednesday 11 a.m. Eastern block. I'm going to do outreach to active buyers around an off-market deal. That's my work session for the 3-day deal sprint this week. And I figured, why not, bring everybody along for the ride? I've gotten a lot of feedback that those actual, real world examples of doing the outreach, calling, texting, emailing, etc. Folks seem to like and value and appreciate. So we'll do that. And then for those participating in the deal sprint, Founders Club members, or folks that Sean's calling them our sprinters, we have that day 3 at noon Eastern. So busy day. And then I'm working on 1, possibly 2 appointments for the afternoon after that. We'll start off with this, and this is very much a reminder to me. This is me reminding me, you can beat most people at anything if you just don't quit when it gets boring. Not hard, boring. That's where everyone else starts. Now, there are obviously times where things are hard, but I will say that the times that I have most often sort of lost my way or lost my path or gotten distracted are when things get boring, when things are working, but I just get bored. And that's silliness. That's immaturity. That's not being a good business owner or entrepreneur, if I'm being honest. So, there will be hard times, right? Persevere for those. And also when things get boring, just keep doing the things that work. For example, every morning, early morning, I go and send emails to the people that are looking at properties in my CRM or in my MLS. And it's boring work, but I know that if I do it every day, averaged out over a week, a month, a quarter, I get more replies, responses, and every one of those is a seed, because that's farming activity. For those of you that have heard, the analogy that I've been talking about over and over and over, separate farming, fishing, every one of those is another seed, or maybe a little fertilizer, or a little water in the ground of the farming activity. Now, I'm not relying 100% on that work, but I'll take those deals too, those opportunities. So persevere and keep going when it's boring, especially when you know and you have proof that what you're doing does work. The hardest part to keep going through the boring work is if you don't have proof of concept yet. Once you do, generally speaking, a lot easier to keep rolling. Game plan. I'll share my deal of the week email. I'm doing something a little bit different with my deal of the week email this week. Proposals for homeowners. Yesterday, I mentioned that I would share how I'm taking my Loom videos that I send to homeowners, either cash offer request leads or home value request leads, people that I've talked to on the phone, different scenarios, and how I turn them into written proposals. AI is the short answer. And then time permitting, we're going to get into a scenario that Stuart had sent me yesterday. And that is definitely something we're going to revisit on day 3 of the deal sprint as well, because I think there's a lot of good potential takeaways from that. So first, let me share my deal of the week email little bit different this week in that I'm calling it my deals of the week email. And I am taking the bait that I have found myself, most of which I found doing the deal sprint work starting on Monday, but there are 2 in there that I have from previous work. Doesn't really matter. And I have 5, you could have 2, you could have 3. It doesn't matter. Or just don't do, don't do this structure at all. Just pick one deal and do the typical process. But I like to test different things, and I'm curious what kind of reply and response rate I'll get versus the traditional. So my subject line, here are our off-market deals with the S in parentheses and all caps of the week in Central PA, first name, and then the date to let them know that this is timely. I realized in doing this, the last one, I realized 2 things when doing this. Number 1, I was so busy last week, I didn't send a deal of the week email. Whatever. Stuff happens. And number 2, I was still living in the past because the date I put was 1/14/25 in the last one that I sent out. And so I don't know. Maybe that's a reason why I didn't get a ton of replies. I did get a couple, but not a ton. So normally I would have, okay, so just for those of you who are new to the deal of the week email, number 1, all text, no links, no pictures, generally speaking, no price. Number 2, typically I will have 4 to 5 bullet points about the deal. And number 3, you send it to everybody. Okay. Like don't discriminate. If you've got their email and they're in your whatever, Bold Trail, Go High Level, Lofty, Wise 8, it doesn't matter. Realty Juggle, whatever. Who cares? Wherever you got them. Because I have 5 different deals in here, I'm not going to put 4 or 5 bullet points for each one. This is just minimum effective dose. Just little teaser information on each. So number 1, 8 unit, 4 duplexes, 8 units, 4 duplexes in Northern Dauphin County. Number 2, fixer upper in Enola. Number 3, turnkey 2 unit in Lancaster. Number 4, unique income property, 3 rental doors on over 13 acres in Enola. Number 5, 4-bedroom single family in Camp Hill. Who do you know that might be interested? I'm not asking them if they're interested, although many of them interpret it that way because, that's just like our natural inclination. But I'm trying to plant the seed. This isn't about you. It's about who do you know. And I will say last year, I had a fairly significant amount of additional potential deals come from people forwarding my deal of the week email to someone else. And in fact, I'm going to make an adjustment to this that I hadn't thought of in a while. Just hit reply. Let me know which number, and I'll get you all the details because I have 5 of them in there. So I want them to reply, and they'll say. So I will literally. I'm certain of this. I will get some people that just reply, and they literally write number 3, and that's the only reply they'll send, and that's fine because they're actually following directions. And then I'll get others that say whatever. Ooh, okay. A couple of things that I'm noticing here. I still have the Happy New Year because I cloned this from an email I sent a couple of weeks ago, and I included Happy New Year. So I'm going to say stay warm out there because it's cold, very, very cold here. And then I've got my signature file, but notice there are no links, no images, no nothing. P.S. We're finding a growing number of off-market deals each and every week. Would you like me to let you know about those as we uncover them? Man, I am glad that I am going through this. I found several things in here. PPS, please forward this email to anyone you think might be interested. Another smiley face. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the smiley face here. Too many smiley faces. That's one too many. And I'm not going to include this little toggle switch. If you're using Bold Trail, you can have a saved signature, but that's redundant. I don't want the assigned agent signature. So I'm going to reschedule that, and that will go out to, I probably should actually trim this down if I'm being honest, because this is projected to go out to 14,000. And the problem with that is it just hurts the deliverability. So here's what I'm going to test next week. I'm going to test a pared down list of just active prospect. I don't know how I'll pare it down, but I'm going to pare it down, and I want to kind of compare the results of one or the other. Now, it's not a perfect split test because I'll be sending out a different batch of deals and so forth, but I'm just curious for my, for my own feedback what that might look like, because it's a lot. That was number one. Number two, I already did this work as well. I'll quickly share it. I had a transaction. I guess technically it closed on Monday, but that makes 4 in a 7-day window. Not too shabby. This one was in my neighborhood, so this was Shepherd work. Although I didn't actually know them, so I think maybe it's like maybe a little bit of combination of Shepherd and farming. Like they knew of me, they sought me out. They referenced seeing my wife and I walk in the neighborhood for years and years and years, because they've lived in the neighborhood longer than we have by a couple of years, but we've both been in the neighborhood for quite a long time. This is just a just sold post. I've shared this process a number of times on these sessions. I use listings to leads. I make some edits and tweaks, and then I post it on Facebook. I post it on Nextdoor. I post it on my Google business profile. And this is a post that I will actually share into groups. Earlier in the week, I talked about and shared, this Google review post. I'm not going to share that into groups. Okay, that's just like, I'm just asking for people to give me a hard time in the comments. But this I will and have absolutely shared into the group. And the page I'm sending them to is a lead capture page with fastcashoffers.ai, where they can enter their address, they can instantly get the value. One of the very cool things about this, and there are many, is I have a script installed where I capture people even if they don't enter their info, and if they enter their address, I capture them. In other words, I don't really care if they opt in. I don't really care if they just enter their address and hit get value, because I can figure out more information and details, and I'm not going to stalk them or do anything crazy. But if I have that information in Bold Trail, I'm going to add them to a market report based upon the city or zip code of their property. I'm going to send them an email sequence that I shared last week or a couple of weeks ago, which is like my three email sequence. Why we're so great over here, and why someone might work with us, with reviews and examples, et cetera. But I'm not gonna call and text them and hound them. But I'm gonna put relevant and relative information or congruent information in front of them. In other words, if I see that they own a home in whatever, Enola, PA, and I start sending them a market report about what's going on with Enola, PA real estate, like, people are curious. That's information that is valuable and relevant on some level. What else do I have here? Yes. That landing page, that's like an old one that you still have access to, right? No. I made him put these in here. Oh. Yeah. That is the new version of the old one that I said, hey, this was the best performing one. We need this. So if you go to landing pages and page and choose simple value offer. I like light mode, but if you're a dark and mysterious kind of person and you want dark mode, I don't even know what the dark mode one looks like, but that is what that template is that I shared. It's this one. So that is, again, it's called, that's dark mode? No, that's light mode. Listen, we're Jedi over here. We're not the Sith. Come on. I don't know. I had also asked him, I think these are that version, but that instead of defaulted to values, it's defaulted to offers. I totally forgot that I asked him to make these. So here I'm gonna go 717.
No, I don't have those options. I was like, where are you finding this? I'm gonna have to get a hold of you.
Okay, let Abs know. I don't. That's odd. Um,
Yes. So where are the cheap seats, James? Yeah.
look at that. So
No
it's
respect. No respect.
now the one thing I'm still waiting on. And this is me. I just need to pester him more. I want more control over the background image. I want to be able to put a map because the map I know for sure. Like I've seen that converts better. There are currently there are different background options. Like there are a bunch of them, but none of them are a local map. And that's what I like when I put Central PA, like a Google Map picture of Central PA as the background of that, that works really good. And just since we I don't know, since we got on this topic, I'll show the old one. That is the reason why this one right here, see how this is a map? And as ugly as that looks, I'm telling you, I know with certainty this page crushes as far as conversion. I mean, people, it just does. So I'm gonna pester him again to make it so we can put our own custom images as the background, because right now that doesn't exist. Okay. Yesterday, towards the end, I got onto the topic. If you missed yesterday's, we do put all of the recordings as well as infographics, summaries, and all kinds of other cool stuff at leaddeck.ai/closers. Depending on where you're watching this live, that should also be in the description as well. And I was worried that I was going to make a liar out of myself, but yesterday's is live there. So that one is live. If you missed that, you want to go check it out again. But towards the end, I mentioned using different AI tools to take the videos that I send, whether it's making a proposal or even like a preliminary option. For example, if I've had just a brief conversation or someone requests a cash offer, the first thing I send them are cash offer options and a short video summary, 60 seconds or less. However, I spoke with Tina twice on Friday. The second time, we confirmed that, at least over the phone, she was committing to me that she's going to let me list her property. We're going to have it coming soon later this week. We're going to have it active on the market later next week. And so I earned the right to send her a longer, more detailed message. In fact, that was part of my commitment to her, was I was going to send her a more detailed explanation of the plan to get it sold. So I recorded this video, and it was 4 minutes. Like, even for me, for this kind of video, that's kind of on the longer end. I recorded it, and then I took the transcript, and I think I went 2 different places. I think I tried Manus, manus.ai, and I will say that generally speaking, at least with the prompt that I'm using, Manus tends to do the best job. Now, someone, was it Deb? And I think it was on our deal sprint. Deb Hain recommended promptcowboy.ai. So it could be that I'm just using a bad prompt. I'm using a prompt that Manus understands better than Chat or Gemini or even Notebook LM. Okay. But a lot of these things are either free or low cost, and you have access to them anyway. So why not have 2 or 3 of them create the output and see which one you like best or which one works best? I think I used Manus. And all I did was I gave it a short prompt. Here we go. This is the one. This was my short prompt. Can you go through this video transcript that I recorded for Tina Hench regarding my plan for helping her sell the property at street address and put together a one-page summary I could share with her by email? Now, it ended up being more than a page. So whatever. It was 2 pages or like 1.5. But the output I got was this. And I made a couple of small little edits. But that's a hell of a lot better than me trying to create this from scratch. I mean, let's face it. Nobody wants to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to create this from scratch. I didn't get into real estate sales to be creating this kind of crap. I mean, it's part of the job, but I got no problem talking. And I know what my plan was from my conversations. And also, I crafted the plan to reflect back to her some of the important things that she mentioned. In other words, she gave me a net sales number that she didn't want to go below. Now, here's the reality. Most likely, she's going to end up having to take less than that. But we got to start somewhere. Okay? So, and I know that I can market it, and I know that I can turn this property into other opportunities and other potential deals in the pipeline. So, whatever. It is what it is. But all I did was took this transcript and spit this out. Now, I thought it'd be fun. I did not do that with this one. This is a video that I mentioned. This is an expired listing I met with Friday. Somehow or another, he got in my CRM. He's been getting my monthly update with values and offer options. He's been getting other communications from me, and he just called me. He basically just said, hey, this is Joe. We've been getting your info forever. We tried to sell last spring. It didn't work. We really want to get this thing sold. Can you come by? That was literally like the conversation. So I went by. We had a great meeting. And part of what I promised him was that I would, we talked through a general plan, but that I would put something more concrete together for him. Now, I don't know why I didn't already do this work of taking the transcript and putting it in black and white. I recorded the video and sent him the information Saturday morning. So maybe, I don't know, my brain wasn't firing. But I sent him this video, and I sent him a number of other PDFs that I had already put together, some of which I had shared on our appointment. Because one of the things, and I've shared this, a number of times before here, I will, when I'm going on an appointment like this, I will put together a Google Drive folder with a bunch of different AVM values, MLS comps, some of my case studies or examples of homes that I've sold using my 7-day stress-free home sale program and all of that stuff. So I have it ready. And sometimes I end up sharing that on the appointment. Sometimes it's after. Sometimes I even share it before, depending on the conversation that led to the appointment. So my point is, I already had a bunch to send him. So that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't do it ahead of time. But let's see here. I'm going to go to Manus. Can you, actually, let me do this because I'm lazy. Productively lazy, I like to say. I'm going to paste this in. Can you go through this video I recorded for Joe and Olga Batista regarding my plan for helping them sell their property at 1313 Carnegie Way, Mechanicsburg, PA, with them. I'm going to copy this too, because I'm going to probably use, I'll test something else too, just to see what the output is. Grab this transcript. Whoops, dang it. It's going to be confused because I didn't give the transcript. It's going to say, hey, what? I'd be happy to. Where is it? Okay, here we go. There it is. And then let's go, while that's working, let's have an AI, an AI competition battle. I don't know. And I'm gonna have to wrap up on this because it's cold and I gotta warm the car up and we gotta leave at 10. So, you know, let's see here. So this is working through. Oh my goodness, it's already spitting this out. Okay. What about Manus? Manus hasn't. See, Manus does like more detailed research, but look at that. Look at that. Now, all I need to do is go through and see, is there any hallucinations? It says prepared for, I'll add from, me. I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal. But look at this. I mean, this is great. This is great. Now, what if you're someone, you're like, well, I'm not doing Loom videos or whatever. For most of us, it is easier for us to talk through whatever our plan for them is than to type it out. And you can talk to any of these AIs. You can turn your microphone on and just talk to them. Or you can even get creative. So I'm going to tee this up, and we're going to dive into Stuart's scenario on the day 3 of the deal sprint. But if you're not participating in that, I will also share tomorrow morning. Stuart sent me a video with a scenario, a seller that responded to some marketing that he sent. I'll just leave it at that. And he sent me a video, and I sent him a video reply. And I wanted to take the transcripts of both of those and use AI to put together a summary. And I subsequently have. But I said to Stuart, do you have a transcript of that video? And he's like, no, the Cloud HQ doesn't give me the recording or a transcript or whatever. So all I did was play Stuart's video. And with my Notes app, I opened my Notes app, I hit the microphone, and I just let it listen. And it gave me a perfect transcript that I then fed into Notebook LM. I said, Stuart sent me this. I responded this. And then I took that, created an infographic and a summary. Oh, you know what? I posted in the wrong summary. That was actually his transcription, not the Notebook LM output. So watch this. Where are my, here we go. So right here.
The voice notes app on the phone will transcribe.
All I did was I opened up. I played I opened up Notes. I hit the microphone button. I created a new note. I hit the microphone button and I hit play on Stuart's video, and I just shut up. It was listening. It almost perfectly transcribed what he said. And then I had a transcription that I could then place here. It's just, I'm sharing that story for a couple of reasons. Number one, FIO. I messaged him and he was like, sorry, I don't have a recording or a transcription. And instead of me going, well, whatever, I was just like, okay, well, how could I? Oh, I use voice to text all the time. Why not just have that recorded? And away we went. So I have to wrap here, but this is what will be included in the replay of today's session. This document, examples of the Loom videos that I send as proposals, and the proposals that Manus or whatever AI you choose to use, but me, Manus is the one that I've been using most often. Now, what I'll maybe do between now and then or tomorrow is I'll also take that same transcription. I'll feed it into Notebook LM and see what kind of infographic it spits out, because that's pretty cool too. If you take the time. So here's where we're at, like practical uses of AI. If you record a video like a Loom, like that, in a matter of 5 minutes, you can turn that one piece into an infographic, a summary, a plan, a checklist, etc., with just a couple clicks of the mouse. And then you can present information in multiple modalities so that whoever you're presenting it to, they can choose how they want to consume it. Are they visual learners? Are they kinesthetic? Do they need to hear and see and whatever? And also, they're like, holy smokes, look at all the time that this person put into detailing the plan for me. Do you think that they will feel a little bit of pressure to say yes to you versus even if you were, this is a callback to yesterday. I think this was on Deal Sprint, not on the live stream. Even if you were the fool and not the favorite, meaning they told me this scenario, they told me they're interviewing at least, they were kind of a little bit ambiguous. At least one other agent they were interviewing. And so I have no idea in that situation if I was the fool or the favorite. But if I go the extra mile, I'm increasing the chances of, even if I was the fool and they already had a favorite, that I still might get it. Because they just, man, look at all the work that he put into this. We'll see. All right. For those of you that can make it 11 a.m., it'll be a work session. I'll be calling, texting, and emailing buyers using LeadDeck for off-market deals that I've got. And then we've got day 3 of the Deal Sprint at noon Eastern as well. I'll get the replay and all the resources. It'll be live certainly by tomorrow morning, most likely this afternoon at leaddeck.ai/closers. Let's make it a great day.